Alright, so today we're going to look at good old Subsonic. In case you are not aware of who Subsonic is, he's someone that I noticed like last week or so. I almost played him, but his time settings were way too fast on Tygem. I did notice, however, that he played 20 games in one day and won them all at 5 Dan. Then he went up twice to 7 Dan, and he repeated that. Now he's a 9 Dan. I do not know if he's a pro, but I do know that his games are pretty good, and I think they're worth studying. Now, since not everybody has access to Tygem, I'm going to go over one of his games here. So even if you don't have access to Tygem, you're going to be hearing me refer to him probably quite often for, I don't know, next couple of weeks or so. So you'll know who I'm talking about. You'll be like, oh yeah, guy, his game he showed us, he was pretty good. And you'll be on the same page. Yes, this is a lecture there, Sekta, and hello to Dasan, as well as Jorga. Do not want to forget Jorga. So, okay. These games are taken from his 7 Dan set of games. 1 second, let me get my chat somewhere else so I can actually read everything. There we go. Alright, so this is from his 7 Dan set of games. As you can see, Subsonic is white. I'm almost positive the guy is pro, because he plays really calmly, usually in his games. And a lot of amateurs don't do that. I mean, I've seen amateurs rank up really, really fast on Tygem. Haven't seen them do it in 2 days. In just a 2-day span, but I have seen them rank up really, really quickly. But there's some over-aggression there. There's some questionable plays. There's some trick plays with fast time settings, just to get the weaker opponent to screw up really, really quickly and get your win. I've seen these methods used to make up really, really fast, but usually when I just see the nice, calm play, that usually is the sole realm of the professional, you know? Alright, so we see black back off and develop a Kobayashi here, which I'm sure everybody knows how to approach by now. What we do not do is play it A or B, because it is really easy to either attach to the stone on either side, depending on how they play, to just develop the bottom. Or there's an aggressive variation. There are also aggressive variations. For example, if you try to use this, and I've gone over this before, but if you try and use this as thickness, it kind of doesn't work out very well, because you can see immediately the minute this jumps out, your head's kind of going directly to your opponent. So that's hard to really deal with, you know? Bit of an uncomfortable shape here. We're almost completely surrounded. So usually, rather than give up those really, really easy methods to our opponent, we play a little bit farther away. And black says, I want to develop. Now this is just Joseki. I'm going to go through it a little bit quickly in case you don't know it. Pincering here, not always in. A lot of people do play this one. Mostly amateurs, just looking to build up this area as fast as humanly possible. But giving up all the territory on the right is also very, very large, so I don't really see this in professional level play very often. Because you have to figure, if you've just given up 7 points plus maybe more if R2 is played, plus Komi, you need to make that up on the other side, right? So if that's 7 points right there, okay, it's 8, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus Komi. And the bottom right still could be worth a lot. That might be more. I mean, you might fall behind just trying to build up this area. So it's usually better not to place everything in one area. So we go new. H3 still there for W? Yeah, H3 is there too, yep. H3 still lives in that variation as well, that's true. So rather than do this, we apply pressure and try to limit the amount of territory that white's actually going to develop here. White comes out, black defends. You can defend any way you want. You can defend this way too. This is a bit more old school. offer some options to white. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to just like defend yourself and settle? Do you want to be aggressive and come out? This is almost the same thing, only without making the R5 exchange, and that's really, really big, because white's not going to play R5 right now. That'd be crazy. And now a move like S7 is awkward to kind of like preemptively like play that variation. Probably not. So this variation kind of forces your opponent to come on out. That's mainly the difference between the two. Black goes back. I don't have to play this, but he did. This here is interesting. He's looking to put a lot of pressure on good old Subsonic. He wants to aim at that cut point. Because cut point now works, right? Nothing we can do about it. If white does not fix shape, then we're screwed. So how does white fix shape here? Does anyone know the sequence here? Anyone know proper follow-up to defend yourself? N3? N3? Really? You're just going to let the cut occur? Interesting choice. You see him down W Baduk. Okay. What rank did you see it on W Baduk out of curiosity? 8 Don. Still not recommended. A move like N3 is what you're essentially. It looks like what you're saying with that move is, you know what? I don't like the L shape that I have on the right hand side. I just want influence to attack the stones at F3. If you play that, don't be too attached to your S4 stones. O4, not quite. Actually, we're going to play here and defend ourselves, because this goes into ladder right now. Because essentially, if you can't read it, what we're trying to defend is this, because this is horrifying. Not a single eye, and our shape is terabad. We do not like it. So we need to do something about that if we're interested in our stones at S4. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad move. This is probably more for, I don't know, maybe you're going to play lightly here in some fashion just to get an attack on the bottom stones. Like, maybe you could do something there. But white doesn't want to try that. So black defend, or white defends. Now you can see that if we try to cut this, doesn't quite work, right? But if we play it this way, it does work. So we're good. Black defends himself here. White's like, I just want to defend myself here. Black gets a base. Making sure there's no shenanigans with his cut point. And even goes so far as to ensure that he's out as well. He's not going to just like be like, alright, I can't get cut right now. Time to play a move elsewhere. Because maybe then your opponent gets to poke at you. Maybe this way and grow. So this is what I kind of mean when I say that he's also a bit of a calm player, a bit of a patient player, and why I think he's a player worth studying, definitely, for amateur players such as ourselves. Because he's not doing anything too aggressive like the N3 idea that Jorga has seen on W Baduk, or the O4 trying to like surround. He's just protecting his cut point, making sure that he's fine, getting shape for himself because he knows that being harassed is like just invaluable, and he's gonna go from there. It's like, all right, I'm fine, I'm settled ish. Your move. What do you want to do? And black says, I want to do this. Okay. Time to decide how we'd respond to this. We could back off and let our opponent settle, or we can pincer And to decide between those, we need to figure out what we're going to try and do next. White decides that he is out into the center, so he might be able to build this area up, because he's got like leaning attacks and what have you on the bottom of the board. So I guess he decides that maybe he can try and build something there. Oogie. Now, black does something incredibly weird and decides to what? It says, yeah, it does. And plays this. Not your normal everyday Jiseki. I think... Let's see, is he trying to do that? Doot. Yeah, not your normal everyday Jiseki. We could, for example, see a kick here at C15. He decides to play this way. This way is possible. There's a lot of variations here still, such as this. But this is going to be pretty good for black's development. Not bad at all. Getting to develop the top of the board. Could be more aggressive and try to come out. But then you're going to get into a bit of a fighty variation, so you kind of have to expect that. Lots of complication there. This, however, is simple again. I like simple. That's why I'm like looking at this guy's games, because simple, simplicity. So this is pretty simple, just going into the corner, connecting back. This kind of important because the Hane does work. Or the thing at, what is it, F17? So alright. So far, all you've really needed to know in this game to not mess up is Jiseki, more or less. Has to on the right-hand side, what proper sequence is on the left. Compared to F16 variation. What? Oh, you mean the other, instead of G16. Different options there, Saikta. If you play here, your opponent may very well block you at this point. It is entirely possible that your opponent might actually block this. I mean, we could play here, then connect back. But we'd be expecting this variation now at this point. So, this is an interesting move. White is invading black because black decided not to build the bottom, and he decided to, you know, start fighting over the upper left-hand corner. Now, how would you people normally respond here? How would you normally respond here? We're gonna have two questions here. The first question is, how would you normally respond to this particular invasion? You kind of have like two choices, right? H5 says Jorga, get rid of the stone. Let it diagonal on out. H4 is a bit more normal, yeah. Neurosis says sack it and then take the corner. All of the territory will belong to me. Okay. Yeah, C3 sack, go corner. Possible, yeah. Certainly possible. Now, if you were to respond aggressively against this, what's the most aggressive variation you can think of here against H3? D3 is okay too. Is that an aggressive variation, do you think there, Jorga, playing D3? I would agree. G3 is very, very aggressive. D3 is very, very aggressive. It is the most aggressive. We're trying to attach to the cornerstone to get stronger, which is a proverb. Mind you. But Before we go into that, I want to point out that this, I see it a lot, and I'm glad that you asked there, Sekta. Problem with this is you almost will never be able to kill this. Ever, 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 ever. So be very, very careful anyone trying to play diagonal to kill, because your opponent will live, I promise you. Anyway. So here we're trying to... This is something that I used to do a lot. I was like way too aggressive and always leaning on things to try to get stronger and kill things. And that's what we're going to see here. Like, we're trying to get stronger. Just going to take the corner. Taking that corner. Look at all that corner territory. Not ours in Sente, but whatever. So there is a problem with that particular idea. With this idea that we're going to go into the corner, either via the attachment that we've seen at D3, or going into this 3-3 directly with C3. Does anyone know the problem with doing that? Yes, Saikta. There is a tremendous amount of algae there. Like, kind of play this framework on the bottom of the board. We said, you know what, we're going to try to take some fourth line territory there, but now we've undercut ourselves, right? In Gote. So White's like, well, if you take my corner away from you, I'm taking your fourth line territory right back. Black doesn't want to get his stones cut off, so he defends. And then we see O3. So we could go into the corner. We could absolutely go into the corner. But the question is, should we have gone into the corner? We try and cut through this. White's connecting on back. This is a problem now. Tries to defend himself, but White's just connecting on back. Gonna defend the corner so we don't die there, because that would suck. And now suddenly we've got a group, this little stick in the middle of the board, and we can attack it because we didn't omit things like this. Like, if we had omitted getting shape for this group, and this wasn't actually on the field, then maybe we just jump and apply pressure to the right-hand white group, and this was all, like, a gigantic, just crazy calculation on black. Like, we're taking the corner, he's going to go and attack our stones, it's going to give us influence to attack the group that doesn't have the shape yet, right? But no, White didn't forget to take the shape. He went out. He's strong, so Black's in trouble. So alright, let's try and do something here. Trying to do something as fast as humanly possible. Yeah, I hate that happened. Like, I take one move off the board and the SDF tree got killed. Darn it. So here we are trying not to get killed. It's an amazing feat, really. Connect through for defense. Connect up, so live. Looks like we're getting in there somewhere, but the ladder is not happy, so that's gonna suck. We can't play that. Got a bamboo joint here. But even now, we can still see profit. We're still making some points, right? Before invading bottom, WJ5 too soft. Before invading that, WJ5. Oh, that was there actually. So before all. Oh, okay. It's a bit risky. You could try it. You could certainly give it a shot. But now, like, the entire game is going to rest on building the left-hand side, because you lost your corner, and you solidified the fourth line for your opponent, I guess? I mean, you can try it, but that is a small knight. It could be cut. Hard to say how this would turn out. Hard to say. Whereas here we know that he's lost solid points, and our group is fine, and that's why we got shaped, because our group is nice and strong, so we can do cool things like this if the opportunity arises. If we don't get shaped, then we can't do the cool things. No, B does not look very alive, does he? So he's going to try and live. I'm not sure if this is a good endgame or not. I guess maybe? Forced to capture those 3 stones? But you have to get to endgame for that to matter. So here we are, attempting to get to endgame. And making some shape. White's just making himself strong again. Leave no weak points behind. Tries to come out. Pokes. Big poke, threatening to go through and take territory on left-hand side again. Nice and strong. And takes his profit. Like, this entire sequence is cool for a number of different reasons. We saw the importance of having that really strong shape there in the middle of the board, which is just coming in to look very, very good. But we're also seeing that, unlike a lot of us amateur players, he's not just going crazy, foaming at the mouth, clubbing black over the head until he drops dead or, runs through his entire territory and just leaves white with nothing. He attacked him, but he's profiting. This attack is obviously in no way designed to kill. It was just designed to make profit, get points, and destroy points. Black comes on out, or attempts to. Doesn't really work out so well. Does force capture, though. And gives him eyes, so it's good. Black comes out. You know the problem here already, right? Is this a good move or bad move? Yes, Neurosis. Yes, yes, Brandon. Wait, what? Can L10? Yes, exactly. Not good for not good, but I guess he gets Sente at H5, but I don't think this was a good thing to get out, yeah. I mean, we get to make this exchange, but that's about it. So Black goes into profiting mode. He's like, that didn't work out so well, let's just get some territory. White decides to invade, or approach rather, sorry. Very aggressive move, take as much territory as possible. 2 space for white. Attempts to put pressure. White knows he just needs to try to live here. As we see. Now, I thought he was going to play a little bit more passively at this point. But he does go on to one more attack. Gives Black opportunity and makes me a little bit uncomfortable because now White's got like 2 groups that are in trouble. But Black has one too, so I guess it works. Black clamps here, which is actually a really good move because it forces yeah, some forcing moves here to lean and hurt these 2 stones. But you can see once again the reason behind this was 2 space is not the most protected thing in the world. If he wants to connect, then he gets to cut through. And that is a great reduction. Now all he has to do is go back and live. And at that point, the game is pretty much over. There's not a whole lot black can do. I mean, black makes some cool attempts to reduce a bit. But this group is just not being attacked. Not a whole lot else white or black can do because he doesn't have a lot of territory. He's got the right hand a bit, sure. But white's not weak anywhere. The middle's kind of big. The left-hand territory is kind of nice. So black actually gives up here and resigns. Nice, easy, simple play. I am very much a fan of this kind of style. And anyone who's kind of even close to or at the 7-down level on Tygem should definitely be interested in this too, because it kind of shows you how the answer to your trying to improve isn't being more aggressive, but maybe just being more solid. And even if you're not, close to that rank, I'm sure it helps too. Now, Tygem do have 9-dons, yes. And this guy is a 9-dan. It says he's 7-dan in the title here, but that's because he was 7-dan when he was ranking up through here. Because essentially he played 20 games, and he went from 5-dan to 7-dan, jumping up 2 ranks. And then he played 20 more games, and he jumped from 7-dan to 9-dan, not losing the 40-game stretch. Well, okay, if he's a pro, he could have had a pro account, and that would mean he's kind of smurfing. But I don't care when pros smurf, because I learn a crap ton from these games. I am smurf more, man. Whoever you want, go for it. All right, so this game is going to be options, rules. This time, Subsonic is still a 7-dan actually. And it's just jump 7-dan, there we go. Alright. So, this time good old Subsonic is black. And I already warned you that this game is not going to be quite as kind as the other one. Because white decides to pick a fight immediately. Like, I'm going to approach you, what are you going to do? Black says, I'm just going to take territory. I'm simple. White plays another 4-4. Black follows up because, simple play. Really simple play. White's like, that's fine. I'm playing cosmic style. I just want all that their influence. All of that their influence. Because Sanrinsei! We're going to develop as fast as humanly possible. You all know now why I picked this game. I have a special place in my heart for the Sanrinsei. It just brings a tear to my eye. And here we see someone who is playing really, really fast to try to build as quickly as humanly possible. So the question is, how do you respond to that? How would a very simple player look at this game and say to himself, alright, no problem, I'm going to play nice and simply. My opponent did not create shape. I'm just going to cut. Now, I would have thought that would be giving your opponent what you wanted. Because, if you left the cut point behind, he must want you to cut, right? So, surely he's fine. But he's trying to grow his own area while White's taking care of himself. So let's see how this works. White Atari, which is bad. He should back off. Is he trying to trick black? No, White's not trying to trick black. White is just trying to use his stones flexibly, nice and lightly to build up everything south of his position. But okay, he plays the Atari. And white's just like, I'm going to take everything south of here. Everything. It's all mine. But black is noticing that it's not taking care of his own shape. So, okay, he cuts. But white says, that's fine. I'm just going to take everything. Wait, I did this wrong. Rip tree. There we go. See? Trying to take everything for himself. Trying to minimize what black has. And black is just taking it. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll connect. Could go to co. Could play elsewhere. Like, no, I'm just going to connect. It's fine. White defends. Is it... I don't know, is it time to play elsewhere now, do you think? Jorgus has cut again. Last move said cut again, but, you know, it's okay. Need to find out what to do. Because I'd be worried. Symmetry? B seems B Credo? Do not know what that means. I would know what you mean if you said that B was Greedo. But I think Greedo shot first in this case. And B didn't shoot first. B just took territory. White shot first. So white would be Greedo. And I guess that makes black Han. Anyway. H12, yes. He does actually cut and continue poking at this shape. Because he's trying to get... Again, he's fighting for the top and what have you. White defends himself. Black strengthens. And just defends himself in the middle of the board. If this gets strong, then the Sanrin-sei has been taken care of, and then we can begin kind of like reducing and stuff, because we have somewhere strong to run to. And if white just keeps trying to build, he's going to forfeit the top of the board. And since we're this close to the middle of the board, you need to be really careful about just saying, okay, everything north of here is just going to be yours. That's probably not a great idea. So, all right. White decides to leave very, very quickly. Jorga, you're the 7 down for today. What do you think about the small knight? Jorga says very bad. Yeah, there's a problem with the small knight. The problem with the small knight is that it can be cut. And you might say, oh, but then white's just tricking black because 2 stones are small to capture. But no, cutting stones are not strong, or not small to capture at all. These stones dying are huge. So now we have to take care of the 2 stones here. So white approaches. This I don't understand at all. He's just trying to like get light shape here over and over and over again. Like that's his whole thing. Just get light shape again and again and again. Tries to live up here, not just give all this as territory, which I can understand. Pretty easy to live. I mean, it's not going to be hard to make life up here, right? Just extend out and we're fine. But that extra wall now kind of hurts white stones all over again. So black says, bam, I'm cutting you off. So now this attempt to play lightly isn't really lightly anymore. Now we have to like defend ourselves because our stones are under attack. This I just flat out don't get. I'm not sure I understand this move. I mean, I don't know if maybe he thought he'd play elsewhere, that there'd be trouble here, but there isn't yet. I don't know if he thought that, I don't know, maybe this? Maybe he thinks that this is going to die, which might have some merit to it, admittedly. That seems like really, really risky for white to bet everything on killing that and letting this group out again. I don't know. But alright, he goes to live. I missed something. What am I missing? Oh, right, white comes out. Or black comes out, sorry. Connects, tries to anyway. Save our stone, don't get involved in anything weird here. Solid connection's always nice. Defended the corner, but now white's out. So it looks like black's not getting a large area on top as he thought he was. That's always dangerous when your opponent still has a framework on the board. Could be a problem. Whoops. That one was a mistake. There we go. Poking move and approaching move. So now that white is fine and black's been reduced, it's time to figure out what we can do to this framework. So the question is, what can we do to the framework? What should black be thinking about now in this game? What should black be considering? Should black be considering anything? Should be considering noodles. That could be pretty good. I'm hungry. I could go for some noodles. Yeah, that makes sense. Anything else besides noodles? Is N12 alive? N12, where's N12? Yeah. That thing is devilishly hard to attack still. I mean, the stone's dead, we're not surrounded. It looks like there's a thing at M15. Play safe, be better, Yos. Okay. Left. The left is an interesting part of the board there, Psyched. Yeah. Why is the left so interesting? I mean, we know a couple of things here. We know that white needs territory. We know that white needs territory, so white backs off and tries to get the bottom of his territory. But that lets black attack these 6 white stones. Because these things aren't thickness anymore. If they ever were. They're not thickness, they're now a liability. We need to look after them. You made 2 pounds of noodles, Stardusker? That's good job. So white kicks. Forcing move, I guess. But he's really obsessed with that territory now. And trying to make all of this into points for himself. So, black connects. Doesn't try to do weird stuff like attack right now and maybe lose the chance to ever do so, right? He's just like, I'm going to connect now. Because this way, if I'm nice and solid, if I'm nice connected, I get territory and my opponent is weak again. So we see this as a result. And white now trying to like solidify all of his points. Because the upper left is big. Right hand side could be big too. And Dexlord007, thank you for following the channel, much appreciated. F10 looks weak. F10 is very weak. F10 needs defense. But I think white was worried that if he defended F10, that it just wouldn't be good enough. Like maybe the opponent takes the 3-3, maybe even that can still be attacked. Maybe black backs off here or tries to like put pressure on top group again. I don't know. But he goes after territory. And black does the same. Just some territory. White's doing to invade. Black says go for it. All I want really is these stones. Now we have to defend. We have to defend, but the attacking move at G7 had more than one purpose. Yes, Neurosis, exactly. That invasion's now nicely open because we have somewhere to run to, right? These kind of things are what you never want to see in your game if you're actually trying to build up any kind of framework. Like, you've got the attack and the invasion being threatened here simultaneously, and you can only respond to one at a time. So, alright, got the attack in. Trying to cut it off. This is a great trick that a lot of queues fall for, I have to say. Like, you respond here, and then suddenly, you're disconnected, now what are you going to do? Right? But these stones are still light. We haven't committed to them yet. Not just yet. So we can look for Aji still. And here he's trying to connect underneath, as we can see here. White says, don't connect. Black says, and don't try to kill me. White says, no, I'm really going to try to kill you. So black says, time to use Aji. Force moves for connection underneath. And this is big. And you can see why it's big by the throw-ins at A and B. Because if we connect now, which we are not going to do, but if we connect now, this is a problem. Because maybe before we could just play here and just kill it off, but not right now. Right? That just kind of gets destroyed. Actually, can destroy it a lot easier than that, can't we? We can do this way and then this way? Nah, pretty much same thing, whatever, who cares? So, alright, those are dead. Rip 2 stones. Jumps out. Now black connects. Obviously, white's going to try to attack and kill. Now the question is, how aggressive can we be here? Should we just play the Atari and escape? Or can we do more? And if so, where's the Aji? White, okay, Jorga says J7, just play the Atari and get out of there. Everyone agree? Atari and leave? Or stick around and have fun? E3 is a good point to probe. If you decide to say that the bottom is your opponent's, you might as well go ahead and probe. Right? Because you're literally losing nothing by doing so. Like, if this is our opponent's right now, we might as well see if that's true. Like, maybe he drops down, and then we get Aji. Alright, nope. Time to leave then. You can see what's slowly brewing here. 2 stones are rip, sadly, but true. But look what's going on the outside. These 3 stones can't really stand up to this attack right now and has to defend them. Okay. Connect on up. Now we're threatening to kill again. That's great. This threatens to cut off. Okay. Black says I'm going to get out of here. White says you're going to die. Defends himself. Same thing. 2 stones are now dead. Now they're dead again. But there is Aji now. We can threaten to connect up to the 2 stones. White says no. Black says yes. White says no. Black says yes. White says no. Still seeing who's right. Looks like he's kind of right, but we get the free Atari, which is really, really nice. And the free Atari comes with gifts, because later on we've got D2 as well. So, huge reduction on the corner. And we killed a stone. Pretty good. Sacrifice some stones. Not sure I understand what this is all about at all. This just, I don't understand. I don't get it. So black plays here. Because, like I said, that's a pretty big reduction. Pretty big corner. And from here, there's not a whole lot that white can do. Because that upper left big corner is very, very big. The right side for black is also pretty big. But the only area that we've got nicely for white is the lower left, which admittedly is a very, very large corner. But it's just not enough. Black has more than just one large corner. And sadly, we're not quite done with the festivities. Poke to see what can be done. Connects. Threatens to go underneath. Black's decided that he has to kill or nothing else for it. Whoops. But now we're in a cove for 2 eyes, plus we're still on the outside. I mean, it's just not good. Now at this point, there's not a whole lot that white can do on this particular board. So he plays a couple of more moves, but that's pretty much the end of the game. And he has no choice but to resign. So once again, Subsonic wins. The first game was very, very calm, rather peaceful even. This game's a bit more aggressive with a player that really, really wanted to get his territory. 4th line, too. He played Sanrinse for territory. You don't usually see that very often. But since he was trying to play so fast, black just kept poking at his shapes. And the influence just kind of caved in on itself. I mean, right in the middle of the board is a black group that ran through everything. GG indeed. GG indeed. So this is kind of why I say that I've been looking at a lot of Subsonic's games. I think they're pretty complicated. I don't think they're as solid as some of Legend 88's games were, but they are pretty solid. They are pretty solid games. You can definitely learn a lot from them.